Hello everybody, welcome to JLABTV. I'm JLAB and this is Football Manager 2017, the Unemployment Challenge, and we're looking at my new Head of Youth Development, Brian Dutton. I brought Brian Dutton in to replace my former Head of Youth Development, Billy Hitton, because Hitton wasn't as good as this guy, and quite frankly, if I had to be honest with you, I'm very pleased that I managed to bring Brian Dutton from Eastbourne Borough, who was actually a player when I approached him initially. I said, look, can you join me as my head of youth development at Sterling Albion? He said yes, and then he retired literally as soon as he finished. But he spent most of his career in the non-league, so I'm quite pleased I've got this guy, because it means, ironically enough, in his backroom role, he's put it in his biggest ever role, or playing for the biggest ever team anyway. I mean, he played for Cambridge about 3 times, played for Rainbow a lot as well, but for the most part, I wanted to bring someone in who I knew I could trust, and he has never really made it bigger than League 2, and he only played 3 times in League 2 back in 2003-04 season, but apart from that, he has never really broken out of the non-league English football, so the fact I'm actually able to bring him to one of the highest tiers of Scottish football is quite a nice feeling. It's quite a nice feeling. But you're not really here for my introduction and my endorsement of Brian Dutton. You're here to see how I did in the last 2 months of the Scottish Championship campaign. So let's see how it got on. Our first game in the month of April saw us draw 0-0 against Morton, in a result that really suited me quite nicely, because it meant we weren't going to lose to them and they couldn't chase us down. And really, we should have won the game, because we had so many chances to score, but we never really took them. And 61% of possession and 21 shots, it just shows how much we've come from the side that lost 4-0 to Morton in my first ever professional game as Sterling Albion manager. It's quite a nice feeling, actually. Our next game was away from home against Livingston, who were bottom of the table when we were facing them, and having just drawn against Morton. I was thinking, oh, we can get a win against this side surely. But my tactics were not perfect in this game, and we found ourselves in a rather surprising defeat. And we just lost the game thanks to Jordi Jatesi's goal in the 20th minute of the game to ensure that Livingston took all 3 points in what was really probably the most disappointing game for me this season, outside of some other results I'd rather not mention, like the Alloa game in the Scottish League Cup. Still, our next game was at home to East Fife, and we were looking to ensure we did a good job against the team we were looking to try and finish above. And having just a 1-point lead going into this game over East Fife, I was hoping we can actually ensure we did a good job here to give us a 4-point lead over East Fife in the Scottish Championship table, having been promoted with them at the beginning of the year. But then we found ourselves scoring thanks to his own goal after Dudley did so much work to get in the air in the first place. So the pace to score an own goal like that was great. But in the 11th minute of the game, we probably didn't have the best of times. I can't remember what actually happened, but we had a chance here. Telfer tried to play, lost out, and Osadula was on the ball now. And East Fife were on the attack, and Smith found Grant, who scored. I think it's more Alan Kerr found Grant because he was tackled by accident. They equalised 1-1. I'm showing the scores for a reason, by the way. In the second half now, Telfer found Stewart, and he found Dutty, who hit the post, but allowed Radell to score an absolute sitter. He's no longer with me after his loan spell ended, but Dundee will hopefully try and play him. But we got a third goal near the end of the game, in the 59th minute, near the end of the game, when Ali Kerr scored thanks to that corner for his first ever goal for the club to make it 3-1. But in the 71st minute, it wasn't over for East Fife, and they made us work for the end when they managed to get a goal to make it 3-2. When McCarthy lost out to Doherty, and he got the ball back from McCord, and found Smith, now Osadula, now Grant, and Sabajo scored to make it 3-2, to make it a rather uncomfortable end of the match. We still managed to win either way. So really, I was happy we got all 3 points, just not happy with the fact we didn't have a clean sheet. So our next match was against St Johnstone, who still have this really far away camera, which I can't explain, and we found ourselves losing 2-0 when Cummings opened the scoring with this effort, which was deflected off Gilchrist, I believe it was. Yes, Gilchrist. And was past Alex Crean. But, admittedly, I did rest players, a lot of players, for the Scottish Cup semi-final, and then Ross scored with that absolute worldie, or a lovely finish. And Kieran Ross scored his third of the season to ensure that St Johnstone won 2-0. But admittedly, the side was completely changed. I made at least 11 changes going into the match, giving a debut to Cameron Campbell in the process. But for the most part, I wasn't too concerned by the result. It would already secure our safety at this point. So really, I was looking towards the Scottish Cup semi-final. But did it work? So, the Scottish Cup semi-final, we found ourselves playing against Raith Rovers. And Mvutu scored the opening goal of the game, his first goal of the season, in the 11th minute of the match, with his header from that free kick. And just 3 minutes later, he did it again. Connolly's played the ball in, and Mvutu beat Telford in the air to make it 2-0, his second of the game, in a match we were going to lose in the Scottish Cup semi-final, unfortunately. But we did put up a fight in the second half, thankfully. Telford was able to find Waddell. He found Dutty. He found Lowe, who played in the middle, and Waddell was able to get onto the ball, thanks to sheer luck and a bit of deflection, for his 10th goal of the season. Were we lucky? Yes, we were. But this free kick was a result of one of my players being sent off and me switching to a formation which had me with 3 defenders at the back after my right back got sent off. So I had to take off my left back as well, just to make things easy for myself. But Stephen Ross came on the pitch. And Lowe found Ross. Ross's first touch of the ball equalised for us to get his 9th of the season. And we're 2-2. We've managed to equalise. But in the 89th minute of the game, Davidson scored that free kick to ensure that if Raith Rovers were going to go to the final of the Scottish Cup, ensuring that we would be knocked out of the semi-final. But despite the fact we lost, I wasn't upset because we'd done so well to get to the semi-final of the Scottish Cup in the first place. Yes, we lost to a fellow championship side who I don't think got promoted, but the fact we managed to get this far in the first place, considering my past experiences only getting to the 4th round, was enough for me to feel pride in. So how do we respond to that defeat? Well, we destroyed Queen of the South. Lowe scored the opening goal of the game 12 minutes in for his 5th goal this season. He's still on loan for next season as well, and just a minute or two later, we found ourselves 2-0 up. Lang found Duffy, who scored to make it 2-0 for his 11th goal of the season. 30 minutes in, it's already 2-0. But we found ourselves getting a penalty in the 29th minute of the game, which Telford scored to make it 3-0 in the first half already. And in the 46th minute of the game, we found ourselves conceding the corner. Miller collected the corner comfortably, and then played the ball forward. Finds Lowe, I think. No, he doesn't. But here's Smith trying to keep the ball well. Plays it across, but McMahon intercepts it. And here's Telford now. Finds McMahon here. Now Telford again. Stewart. Finds Waddell. Finds Duffy. I've probably pronounced his name wrong all this time. Waddell finds Lang, who scored his first ever goal for the club to make it 4-0 in the 46th minute of the game, in the first half. And in the 70th minute of the game, I was thinking, yeah, we've probably got a good win anyway. No, I don't think we'll get a 5 or 6 goal lead at any point. But we get the ball back thanks to Kerr. And then Stewart gets it back as well. Now it's Waddell, now Dutty. Plays that wide to Keith Lowe, who's a pain in the ass to deal with in his best of times, and Dutty scored with that powerful effort for his 2nd goal of the game to make it 5-0. Waddell was taken off for McCarthy just minutes later, and in the 90th minute of the game, or 91st minute of the game, we found ourselves completing the rout thanks to Gordon's lovely pass to find Dutty, who completed his hat-trick in the 90th minute to ensure we had a 6-0 lead and a 6-0 win. Dutty's 2nd hat-trick of the season. Makes you wonder why we can't do this more often, doesn't it? And in the last game of the season, we found ourselves playing against Falkirk, and we dominated. We absolutely dominated. So much so that Fasan managed to get the Man of the Match award. we probably should have won the game, but in the end, we didn't. So it's not something I can really complain about. We've done ourselves justice this season by doing as well as we have all year round. So how did we end up finishing the season off? Well, we found ourselves finishing in 7th place. Livingston and Morton were both relegated in the end. East 5 were only 8 points clear of the drop zone in the end, with no wins in their last, well, more than 10 games, okay. And we had a good end of the season, 7 points in the last 4 matches. Could we finish higher up the table? Yes, we could have done, but 7th place was better than expected. I was only planning surviving and finishing above East 5, and we did that in both accounts. Plus, we managed to get in the semi-final of the Scottish Cup, and we finished 11 points off the playoffs, but we were 14 points clear of the drop zone, so actually closer to the playoffs on points than anything else. Hamilton won the title, and Kilmarnock, despite having a 0 goal difference, managed to win the playoffs. Incredible. But who'll be joining us next season from the Premier League? Well, St Mirren and Motherwell will join us. And Ross County managed to survive on the last day of the season after getting 2 straight wins at the end of the year. Good on Ross County, eh? Good on Ross County. And Hibs, who we knocked out in the Scottish Cup final, ended up only finishing in 7th place. Oh well. Anyway, Celtic are the champions. Hearts, Aberdeen and Rangers are all in the Europa League next season. Just the fact that we're 1 point division away from this division is saying a lot for me. And Dundee, who I turned down, finished in 9th place in the Premier League. But the main story is we've got a lot of money now. £1.1 million. We've already lost £150,000 this season due to bonuses, £133,000 to be exact. But last year we managed to gain £1.5 million in gate receipts, and £807,000 of that was from the Scottish Cup semi-final. So I've got a lot of money to play with now. And in fact, I've got a budget of £533,000 to play with. I will not be spending all of that money. I'll say it here and now. And I'm going to try and improve this side because I've let a few players go. Sammy Stewart might be let go soon. Ross McGeechee and Eddie Ferns are probably also potentially going to leave. Most because, while Sammy Stewart is a good player, he is only a decent League One player, as far as I'm concerned. Brian Dutton being very useful here. Eddie Ferns had a good end of the season with 2 goals in 10 games. But he's a good League One player. I want more than good League One. I want good Championship player. And Ross McGeechee is only a decent League One player as well. So really we need to improve on all fronts and all positions, because I don't feel comfortable with the idea of just having League One players as I look to try and consolidate myself in the Championship next season. Did we overachieve? I don't think so. But we need to improve in the future. So a lot of players are going to be let go, I think, and a lot of players have already signed new contracts. So really, I could not be concerned by that. And the boss are concerned by Scott McMahon having £30,000 spent on him. He was actually quite good for me this season. He's a leading League One player, but has only got the potential to be a decent Championship left back, which is a bit of an issue. But he's done well for me this season, and I could not be more happy with how he did for me after we bought him from Raith Rovers during the season. So anyway, I'm going to end this video here. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. Hope you like and share this video, and that you'll subscribe to my channel. It will really help me a lot. And so anyway, until next time, goodbye and well, good night.